who have been politically exposed. Yeah, they are thought that after governorship was going to rest, was commanded to be president. A good man, a radical, left of the center, but was up with it. Then left to be with. And I was a commissioner in the military regime in Bayelsa, who, because Alabisia wanted somebody educated as deputy, became deputy governor. Alabisia got impeached, became governor. Then, because they wanted a governor that was junior to him, I was the only one did. So he became vice president, then he became president. Most of prepared. And after that, we had a man who wanted power, but not governance. I will see it. If you listen to what Kwankwaso is saying, they are losing power. If you listen to Gaduje, they are going to capture the Southwest. It's about power. If you listen to Shekarahu, who is talking about the Democratic Alliance of the North, it's about the political influence of the North dwindling. They're talking about power. They're not talking about what power could be used for. So, when he came, he had power. He had never bothered about what to use the power for. He only wanted to have the power. And if you look at concept, it's an outgrowth of power. So, a political recruitment had become 40. The man who ought to be councillor will be governor. I don't know how much of local government chairman you've seen. Look at their quality. Compare with, what I might just say, as chairman of the local government. Or compare with Chiu Shagari as supervising councillor of education in Sokoto. So a political recruitment got 40. And here we have concentration of power with bad people being recruited to utilize the power. So where we are here, it is predictable. But I never believe it can be here.
Yes, sir. If I can extrapolate from what you said, sir, it means that for Nigeria to move forward, we must get somebody who is prepared, who has taken time to identify the issues or the problems and then solutions.
It is important. That person must have a vision for Nigeria. You see, I always look at Gorbachev, for example. He was going through the ranks in the Communist Party system of the USSR. But he knew one day his ambition is to become the General Secretary and therefore the leader of USSR. And it was clear he would do two things if he got there. And immediately he started it. Destruction and openness. Glasnost and perestroika. And that was how he rearranged the whole of the Eastern Europe, USSR. He opened up the economy. But in it, he even lost the political position was in. Because I think, yes, outsmarted him in Russia. And he didn't grumble, he left. I'm sure he must have died a fulfilled man. So we need somebody who wants to rule Nigeria not because he loves power. But who says, here we have 237 million people. Here we have 20% of the population of Africa. Here we have 70% of the population of the black people. Nigeria must be on top. Economically, socially, politically, and so on. So it does three things. It looks at Nigeria as a computer. Computer must have a good hardware. So Nigeria must have a good structure. Nigeria must have a good software. So we must have a good system. We never chose for ourselves presidential system. It was imposed on Oba Muritala, who said in 1977 it was a no-go area. They can't discuss it. So we must look at the system. Take the civil service. We have one of the best civil service in Africa. I mean, Simon Adebo was head of service here in Western region. He did so well. He became a permanent ambassador in UN for years. We almost forgot him there. And when UN had problem of leadership, we thought he would be the best person to be vice chancellor. That was what civil servants were. But somebody came and started retiring them with automatic alacrity. That altered the attitude of civil servants. They now realize that they have to take care of their own future by stealing. So we need somebody who's going to look at the structure, is going to look at the system, is going to be parliamentary, is going to be presidential. How are we going to run our local government? How are we going to recruit people? That's the third thing you need in a computer, the operator. So we need a good hardware for Nigeria. We need a good software that is virus free, and then we need a good operator. So we need somebody who has thought through all of this. And I know there are Nigerians. I've met many. But because from 1991, I would say, or thereabout, the political system has become so monetized that these good people, they have ideas, they don't have money. So they can't become president. If Awolowo had been alive today, he doesn't have the money to contest as chairman in Kenya, not to talk about as president. So we have monetized, and learning from Mbadiwe now, it doesn't matter where the money comes from, whether legitimate or illegitimate, whether known or unknown. We saw it in Ondo, we saw it in Edo. Open purchase of votes. Now, so if you're an ideas man, you just remain an ideas man in your house because you don't have the vote. But look at Ghana there. At least 1 or 2 times, an ordinary professor has become president. A professor that becomes governor in Nigeria is because his predecessor has decided we make it and he's going to bankroll it because his salary cannot do it. So we need people who are thoughtful of this problem and who can also think of their feet. People want to live a good life. One of the things I have learned when I was young, the richest man was called, what was his name now? He was from Lagos. Very rich man. But nobody remembers him now. Macaulay was not rich there. He was an ordinary subject. But we remember. Yeah. You don't remember any people for being rich. Because in wealth, you don't have a permanent champion. You only have a current champion. Today this is the richest man in Africa. Tomorrow it will be somebody here. So if you start talking of somebody with the biggest houses 4 years ago, architects will have made this beautiful house irrelevant, the new design. But When you leave mark on the minds of people by good governance, they remember you. People still remember Oloro. Why? Even the generation that never knew him, it will pass on to them that there was once a leader who cared for the people. So we need now to be able to recruit people who care for the people. Sivaro said in 1979 that if he became president for 4 years, he won't travel out of this country because the problem is here, not there. It is not whether you hold peace with foreign president. It is what you make in your country that matters. It is how you touch their life. And I found that Nigerians are probably not as difficult to govern as we think. Why do I say so? Buhari and they are going to. They came with war against the discipline. They said we must be lining up. We didn't like it there. But today, if you go around Mokola and all those motor parks, you still find people lining up because they found that that lining up system also benefited them. So we need governance or leaders who will introduce systems, build institutions that the people will say, this is good for us, and they will key to it. The management will call it future theory. Future theory. That means the goals of the organization and the goals of the individual working must be fused. Otherwise, the worker will not work. It is beyond paying good salary. Because there are people who are in a workplace because they want money. There are people who are in workplace because, when I say I work in city people, I get respect. You know that when they wear the shirt, when they get anywhere, it opens doors. They love that. It's not money. So you have to know that all the people working, they have different reasons for working. But if they are unable to achieve their own personal goal in pursuing the goal of the organization, there is going to be a clash, and the organization will suffer. So the day Nigerians see that what their leaders are doing will benefit them, they gladly do it. Then they will be happy with such leaders. Such leaders will remember forever and ever. But if your ambition is to be able to build houses on hilltops, libraries, or have the best cars and so on and so forth, the best cars will fade away. And so you will fade away and become irrelevant in the minds of the people. And they keep on thinking of the little people who are adding value to their life. They are political recruitment. And when I read Parkinson's book, he says that one of the reasons why we have the problem we have here is because the definition of the job of president or governor or minister, those who want to get in there, they don't know the how will I call it, the job description very well. Some of them will get there because they know what the president can do. And when they get there and they see what the president can do, and they see that the Nigerian president has more power than the American president, he's easily the most powerful in the world, perhaps competing with Putin. Then they don't want to share the powers. You know what Abiola said? I think that was February 1993. He did an interview for Guardian and he said, we'll be lucky if we have a president who sees this enormous power and will allow it to be changed. After 2 years, you see the appointment our president is making. even the power to make appointments, the power to give out, how would I call it? Giveaways. When you like, I mean, go to give them 1 billion. The power to do that. That's why American president who can go to a university and say, I'll give you 1 billion. They're going to ask you, where is the budget come from? Who approved it? You know, but so we need to be able to do that. If we're able to do that, then the Nigerian society, Nigeria as a nation will begin to go back. It's going to be a thought process. Because there are people who benefit from what we are doing and they won't like the shame. Because it's a country where they won't read and they will be criticizing what they've not read. In such Senator Shimsoni saying somebody told him that the tax reform bill is dedicated to kill some people. And then he brought the bill before, he said, just show me the paragraph. I said, I'm not ready, but that's what they said. So we have problems. There are people who enjoy this concept of my generator better than yours. They are happy that we are paying 2,000 naira to buy 1 liter. Because they can afford it. They are happy to see many people now unable to afford it because that is class. You know, with that ego. So, and they want to preserve that narrow class of being the ones who have it. So they don't want the others. So if you want to change the system, they're going to oppose it. There are people who make money without working. They don't need to work. Who then is allocated to you. You become millionaire. But you know, you are taught differently. You and I are taught in school. Iṣẹ́ lògùn ìṣẹ́. Iṣẹ́ la fi di ẹni gíga. Tí a kò bá lórí lọ́bí ọ̀rẹ́ là ń rí. And things like that. They taught us the value of hard work. So we were taught to believe that if you don't work hard, it doesn't mean physical work. And whatever you find your hand doing, you do it so well. We left Lagos this morning. We are here. It's hard work. But these millionaires don't have to do that. They just have to know somebody in the presidency and something is allocated with them, then billions come in. They will not like a review of that system that will now emphasize merit, emphasize hard work, emphasize competence. No. Because they keep on having money without having competence. So it's a lot of work. But I believe it is doable. And it is doable if the media, whether mass as in mass or mass as in social media, begin to recognize their prophetic and messianic role in this country. If they begin to remember that these politicians didn't struggle for independence, it was the media editorial, the columnists that got us independent. That the politician collaborated with the military for 28 years. They were not the one who drove the military away. It was the media people who got bombed, who got killed, who got assassinated, who got maimed. Some of you didn't know where you would sleep. You woke up in the morning, you don't know where you will sleep. You were not even sure where you will put together your newspaper. You are completely on the road. Now, you chased the military away, they took over. Unfortunately for us, the media went to sleep. Nothing's addicted on it. We are suffering from mental poverty that is increasing every day. Our moral values, they are collapsing, and every day. So we now want to change all of that. Who will change it? Except the media, because by and large, they are in competition with the politicians. In fact, today, the only opposition party we have in Nigeria is the media. Is it the PDP? They cannot even have a working committee, or they cannot hold a meeting. Or is it the Labour Party? Or is it the NIPP? Or which party? Or is it APC itself? That just throwing its weight round like that of an elephant? So, if the media does not begin to needle them, we'll probably not get into the right path. And we have to needle ourselves in many ways. In their values, moral, social, ethical, in our economy, policies, principles, in our governance system, terms of openness, accountability, transparency, things like that. In terms of institutions, ANC must be 100 years old now in South Africa. We don't have a party that is 30 years old. The PD is the longest, the PDP is the oldest. Where the APC came in 2012 or 2011. So we don't have institutions. We can't talk of an INEC that has an heritage of performance. Because the INEC under Jega is not the INEC that we are seeing. We haven't been able to build the police, 140,000 police to 237 million people. We haven't been able to. Executive, we haven't. The governors still behave like military government. You know there are governors in this country that don't create access for even their commissioners. They only meet at ESCO. They cannot walk up to him and say, I have this idea. So we have to build those institutions. But again, it has to come the right political recruitment. And when I say this, I take a look at somebody like Kissinger. Kissinger is not a politician. He was a teacher of government in Harvard. But he was an expert in national security. And I've written a lot about national security of America and the kind of impact that America can have in the world. So Nixon became president. And unlike Nigeria, in Nigeria when you become president, you ask your friends to give you names. Or you have your political parties to give you names. So they look for people who had helped you to campaign. They give the names. Forgetting that George Bush Sr. said, those who help you to campaign cannot help you run government. They know how to talk on rosters, but they cannot manage 5 people. But in America, they don't do it that way. If you go and unveil the recruitment system of even Trump, you find that he will have assembled some consultants. He would tell them that I need somebody to manage the economy. I want him to have a background in fiscal economics or monetary economics and so on. Because there's a difference when you have an economist in charge of the central bank, for example, or an accountant in charge. They have different approaches. So it's clear what he wants. So he tells the consultant, I want the best. They give him about 10 million. That's how Nixon asked his consultant and he gave him Kissinger. Henry Kissinger does not like Nixon at all as a human being. He preferred that he should have been Rockefeller. So their very first meeting in the hotel, which lasted about 30 minutes, the young good morning, Mr. President, nothing was said. There was a communication right there. He sat down looking at the man with contempt, with doubt, with disdain. And the man was looking at this arrogant professor. So when the meeting collapsed, Nixon told them, if you say he's the best man, I must get him the office. So he got him. Assistant to the National Security Advisor. Within 6 months, he became the National Security Advisor. Then they realized that, in fact, his worldview was the best for America. So he became the Secretary of State. Became the best Secretary of State they have in 20, 30, 40 years. That's how recruitment is done. It's not that we used to go to party together, or we were wearing the same dress on Oxford. No, it's about looking for the best. Under Bill Clinton, for example, the chairman of the Democratic National Convention, which was his party, all he got was Secretary of State. But here, the chairman of the party wants to nominate, if I want to dictate everything. He wants to put people there. And that's why even girlfriends or concubines become important in the recruitment system. So we have to be able to build systems. It will take time, but we must begin.
So do you still play active politics? Do you still play active politics?
Yes, I'm active in politics.
Okay.
I'm not a partisan any longer. Okay. Because I have found that 6 of one, half a dozen of the other is the same. Take a piece. The chairman of Senate was 8 years governor as PDP. The secretary to the governor was 8 years as PDP governor, and I think 4 years as PDP senator. Go and look at the leadership. All of them. They were PDP. They messed up PDP. They carried the foul into APC. And we're enjoying the foul. No, we can't continue with that. So, as I sit as Yemi Farounbi, I look at Nigeria from the way all my mentors will have looked at it. What is best for Nigeria? So if you do what is good today, I will endorse it. If you do what is bad tomorrow, I will abuse you. And then they said, but you shouldn't be criticizing this man now. I said, but he's doing what is wrong. When I listened to the inaugural speech of Tinubu, but for 2 things, I thought, this is same. The 2 things are the causes of his problem today. I remove fuel subsidy. I merge white and black market. That was something that came out of a reasoned mind. From everything I've studied in this world, one of them is decision making. I know you don't make decisions on the spur of the moment. You gather as much information as you can, You look at the options for solving that problem, because there's not only one way to the market. There are many ways. Then you look at the consequences of each option. And in now deciding, you take the one that had, what would I call it, the least disastrous consequence. Well, then think about it. They say we must remove all subsidy because some people are abusing it. If you know some people are abusing it, and you have SSA, you have NI, you have DMI, you have all those security, can arrest them or block the way they were making it. Because there's no country where I know that there's no subsidy of one form or the other. US will still subsidize its agri products. That's why people are in the farms. They are sure that when the prices is low, there'll be a subsidy. So they keep on being on the farm. But what do we have here? OBJ as president encouraged all of us to go into cassava. We became the #1 cassava producer in the world. He left. Nobody knew what to do with the cassava. The whole idea was that they would be shipping the cassava to China and South Africa, where they can use it for ethanol. Because there is no continuity in government. Even when there was the same party with him, he abrogated all his policies. So what happened to the cassava? It got rotten in the farm. So you can't go back now and say, go and plant cassava. And in any case, what's difficult is not having ethanol plant. Philippines has 4 from sugarcane. South Africa has its own using imported cassava. What's our problem? But because we are not consistent, so keep on flip-flopping. So these are the things that I believe we have to look at. Well, he didn't look at it. He looked at subsidy. He married the black and white market in a country that is dollarized. Schools are taking fees in dollar. Universities are taking fees in dollar. Everything we eat, including toothpicks and so on, we import them. You know, if you go around the main street there are some shops. You look inside, you are likely to find gari from China in bags. Anybody here? Can you believe that? There's a goosey produced in China in Ibadan shops. What do they buy? Cabin naira now. So somebody will do that. We first start with a campaign. The kind of campaign Gandhi did. Let us buy Nigeria. No matter how bad it is, let us buy it. Let us go back to what Obasanjo used to do. Any car that is not assembled in Nigeria, government functionaries will not use them. Then we're going to reduce what we spend on dollar. When you have reduced the demand, then you can do what you have done. But I didn't take it through. So there are things he promised in that place now that is not true. He promised in his speech that he will not pursue anybody who holds a diverse view. But is that true now? The 12 or 13 people in his media team, they were attacked mercilessly for holding a different view. He promised that will not happen. He said he was going to create agricultural hubs so that we have more food. He promised that food will be accessible and affordable. But the inflation of food are going to 43%. He said he was going to restructure the budgeting system so that there will be no inflation in the country. Inflation is 34%. Bank rate has gone to 28%. So all the things that he said that excited me in his speech are the things that I'm not seeing. acquire, I remember now, 120,000 hectares to plant wheat, and 150,000 to plant maize. I'm still wanting somebody who take me to where 1 acre had been acquired to plant maize. And in any case, that's not a business. Local governments are nearer the people. Let them take care of wheat and beans and all of that. So the money for that should have been made available to the local government. And I don't want it as a gift. I want it as a restructure of the system. All the 774 local governments, they get 20% of the total revenue. All the 36 states get 26%. Then the one federal government gets 53%. Let's change that. Put the money and the responsibilities at the levels that are nearest to the people. And make sure that the people recruited at that level are good people. If I want to drag you into politics, I can only turn to governor or be a minister. But if I say, you know that everything you make in your own local government is your own. You see, I'm going to surprise people there. That what used to happen. If I remember that in the early days, you beg people to be councillor. The whole time we sit and say, no, we don't want you. It's this teacher we want. He's always living in this village. He knows our problem. When our children are sick, he's the one who will help us carry them to hospital. When we have problems and so on. But now the government will sit somewhere and compile the list of those who be councillors, who will do everything. People they don't know. So we have too many changes, but we can begin them. It should be easy, but those who are benefiting from it will make it difficult. So we must factor that into it. But I have an unusual theory now. Let me sell it to you. I believe that whether Nigerian likes it or not, it will change. Whether presidents or governors, it doesn't matter who is the president, it doesn't matter what the leader, and Nigeria will change. And I base it on the share. It's a scientific principle. The bigger the ice, when it rolls, the faster it grows, because the total surface area of that ice is bigger. If the ice is like this, it cannot grow like an ice like this. So when I tell people, they say I'm not right. And I say, go to the trailer garage. When the trailer is fully loaded, they put it in gear. They put it in handbrake. Then they put a shock. When they've done that, mark it. Go away for 2 hours. The trailer will have moved without anybody touch it. Why? Because of the weight. When I was studying rocks, we knew that rocks grow. As Zuma rock, any of the rock, you go there, after a year, it will have expanded. It's the weight. Nigeria is too big for it not to move forward. We have 237 million people. We think of 237 million people. We are not thinking of the complex interaction between the 237 million people. A interacts with B, interacts with A interacts with D, D interacts, and so on. We're not thinking of the fact that 60% of these 237 million are young people who have their future ahead, who are worried about what will happen to them, who are exposed to what is happening all over the world. It's not our age now. We only saw television. We only watched the VNDB program. So, but today, from their handset, they know what is happening everywhere. So they beginning to set standards for themselves that may be bigger than what Nigeria can provide. One day, a collection, a synergy of all these individual ambitions will network. And those who are making change impossible will be pushed down. I believe it. We are more educated now. One day I was coming from Ife August at Wema Bank area. I was huge Bosco, so I took in Marwa, so I let my driver there. The Marwa driver had double masters.
Oh.
So if you begin to treat him like the driver you used to have, we are in for a shock. And I think this is what our leaders are still not aware of. We have a generation, they call them Gen Z. They are more educated, they are more enlightened. Even when they've not traveled out of this country, they are more exposed. The things that we used to take, they won't take it. And that's why I believe that one day, a network of these determined youth that want to see a better country. It's not that they love Japan now. They know it's not convenient. You and I know that it's not even convenient for those people there. They don't like the weather. They don't like the fact that they are treated as a second or third or fourth rate citizen. They don't like the food. They don't like the dressing. But they are forced to be there because their home is not okay. Fine. All those living, they are not up to 1% of the youth. And they are getting back to their colleagues at home. Their colleagues at home are monitoring. They have the best phones. So if we begin to treat them the way we treated the crowd that Awolowo spoke to, then something is wrong. So I believe that the energy inherent in this youth will be harnessed one day because of their size, and they will force a change in Nigeria. It could be anarchy. That would be a pity. But if we begin to make effort to create system, to look for merit or excellence, and we marry that with their own energy, it's going to change Nigeria completely. And then we all love Nigeria. I keep on saying it. It took me too long. It will happen in my lifetime.
Sir, I've always known you to leave your beards. And I'm wondering an explanation for your love for beards.
I was the University of Nigeria. And then we had this very first major strike. That was 1964.
64?
Yeah. It was a strike by United Labour Congress of Alhaji Adebola and NTUC led by Mudu. The two of them agreed. For once, they never agreed. And they had a strike. And it went for months. And I said to myself, 3 years independent. I was eating rice and drinking Mirinda, and I was so excited. And I thought that Nigeria was going to be the best that we ever had. Now we are having strike because we can't pay workers well. Ordinary payment. We still have strike today because we can't pay workers well. So I said, no. I'm going to be a rebel. And what is my sign of rebellion? I'm going to wear this beard. And then when Nigeria changed, because I assumed that in 2-3 years it will change, then I will remove the beard. As at that time, there was how your person he just come. He was Marxist, he was bearded too. Figure was also trained in Moscow, bearded. There's one in the east there, Mokugo Koye, was also a radical, was bearded. And of course, young 28-year-old was here in the Revolution, bearded. It was my colleagues in rebellion. That's how I started. Hoping that in 3 years, Nigeria will be better. Even Victor Laya, who sang, I think that year, he sang Ilule Kosovo. He thought Nigeria would be better. We didn't know we are here for a long journey to the bottom. I believe we will reach the bottom now. So we should struggle to be able to grow. So that's why I had the beard. In the course of that, it changed from black to mottled. It became all shades of grey. Then suddenly I find I become white. Now I can't even change it because I become a symbol. It's part of the brand, as people will say.